I got a promotion because of my feet. So I was sitting in the HR office and there was this woman across from me with a folder. She wasn't smiling. She goes, "We received a complaint about your shoes." I looked down at my feet and I was wearing open-toe heels, the same ones I had worn to work 100 times before. She said, "Your feet are distracting other employees. You need to start wearing closed-toe shoes immediately." I honestly thought she was joking. "I'm sorry, what?" She didn't even blink. "Your feet are affecting productivity. This needs to stop." My face was burning because I had worked there for 4 years without a single problem, and now some stranger was telling me my feet were a distraction. I wanted to defend myself, but she was looking at me like I had done something wrong. She told me it was a verbal warning, and if I didn't follow the new dress code, there would be consequences. I just nodded, because what else could I do? Walking back to my desk, I passed Greg, this quiet guy who sat a few desks away. He looked up at me and then quickly looked away like he got caught doing something, which I thought was weird, but I didn't think much of it at the time. So I started wearing closed-toe shoes like flats and boots, and I thought that was the end of it. I was so wrong. My manager Darlene started acting completely different, even though she had been my boss for 2 years, and we had always gotten along fine. She sent my work back covered in red corrections for things she never cared about before, and I stayed late every night fixing them while wondering what I had done to make her hate me. Then she pulled me off a project I had been leading. I asked her why, and she looked me dead in the eyes and said, "I need someone more reliable." That one really hurt. Then she started scheduling important meetings when she knew I had other commitments and wrote me up every time I missed one. I went from being a top performer to being put on a performance improvement plan. I asked her what I was doing wrong, and she smiled this tight little smile and said, "You just need to work on the basics." Then Val pulled me aside in the break room. She whispered, "Darlene is the one who filed that complaint about your feet. She was bragging to another manager about how she finally found a way to get you in trouble." I just stood there trying to understand why Darlene would do this to me. Things got even worse because Darlene started copying upper management on every tiny mistake I made and asked coworkers to file complaints about my attitude. One guy pulled me aside and warned me that she tried to get him to say I was difficult. I stopped sleeping and would lie awake at night trying to figure out what I did to deserve this. I told Val everything and her face went red. She said, "This is insane. Someone needs to report her." Yeah. I grabbed her arm and said, "Please don't, because if Darlene finds out, it will only get worse and I cannot lose this job." Val stared at me for a long moment and finally said, "Fine, but this is not right." Then I got an email from HR saying they wanted to see me again. I looked over at Darlene's office and she was watching me through the glass with that same little smile. I walked to HR completely convinced I was about to be fired. There is a different person in HR this time. A man in a nice suit. He says, "We conducted an investigation after a coworker came forward. I realize Val reported it anyway." He tells me they found out Darlene filed the original complaint and I nod because I already knew that part. Then he asks, "Did you know Darlene's husband works in your department? His name is Greg." I feel my whole body go cold because Greg is the guy who looked away when I walked past him that day. The HR man tells me that during the investigation, multiple coworkers reported that Greg had been staring at my feet for over a year, and one person said he would move his chair just to get a better angle. I think about all the times I wore sandals to work and felt like someone was watching me but told myself I was just imagining it. It was him the whole time. The HR man says Darlene filed the complaint to make me cover my feet instead of confronting her husband, and when I kept showing up to work anyway, she decided to force me out. I just sit there realizing this woman tried to destroy my entire career because her husband could not stop staring at me. Greg got fired, Darlene got transferred to another branch, and me, I got promoted to her position.